Come here. Come here. Come here. I'm ready for dinner. Ready? He's coming. Oh, careful. So really this time of year, our gardens are all put to bed. The hugelkultur right here is put to bed. The earth garden's put to bed. I've got carrots and radishes still in there that actually are ready to harvest. These guys are really our only responsibility in our backyard homestead. And we collect all of their droppings down here. And this year we are actually going to just bring it all out to the farm and prep some new garden areas. Normally I dump it in here, but it's good. The soil is great. I don't think it really needs any amending. And this is probably, hopefully, Lord willing, going to be the last year that we'll be gardening here anyway. So we'll take all of this goodness out to the farm. So we don't do rabbits for the meat. I mean, we will eat the meat. We just prefer chicken. And I'd rather do meat chickens than meat rabbits. But we do have them for basically the experience of the kids working with them and their fertilizer. They're so incredibly easy and so incredibly cheap to take care of. They're super sweet and we really enjoy them. I do want to get into doing Angora rabbits for the fiber. It's just kind of part of my business plan, I guess. I really do enjoy Angora rabbits. I've seen them from friends and read lots about them and researched them. I don't get into any animals or really any gardening, anything, any homestead, anything without doing a lot of research. That's just me. That's just my nature. I overplan. That's what I do. But Angora rabbits are the next thing for me. Super excited about them. The kale is pretty fizzled out. All the lacinato kale is definitely done. The Scotch curled kale we're still picking. This has been going since early spring. This is actually still really, really good. Any of the big stuff or the droopy stuff, that goes to the rabbits. And then there's our very sad looking radishes. We had a couple freezing temps that were just a little too cold for these guys to hang. So they will be chicken food. And our carrots are fantastic. These are the sweetest carrots we've had. Now carrots taste better, they taste sweeter after they've had a couple freezes on them, and that is so true. This is the first time that we've really done that and had a successful fall crop of carrots, and these are so tasty. We're really enjoying these. And carrots here, they can stay in the ground for a little while longer. Oh, the kids just came in here to pull some and missed. Look at this little tiny one. Yeah, but they're enjoying it. And they usually just pick and then give the tops to the rabbits. They enjoy those too. There we go, our carrots. And everything else is put to bed. All the oregano I need to snip down. I gotta pull out the rest of the tomato plants. And I've got the rest of the green beans and the peas yet to pull out. I just haven't had time to do it. And we've got our layer of mulch. And a couple piles I still need to rake down. And then we're done. We're done until the spring here. Don't stomp at him unless he challenges you. It's been a minute since I have had a video put out. It's been really busy. We've been doing a lot of things here on our farm and a lot of things at home. So I figured today I would show kind of a normal day for us managing 2 homesteads. Now, you know, our day-to-day stuff like in the house, it's a Sunday today, so we did our drive-through thing for a church and picked up some stuff for Advent. And my parents were in town, so we had kind of a distanced visit. And Mark is actually at his brother's house processing the last deer that he tagged this weekend. It's our last gun season here in Illinois. And he tagged 2 deer. It was that Thursday, I think, and we got one of them done. And he's going to debone and stake out the last one that we have, and then tonight I will grind everything up when he brings it home. So I've had people locally, not really so much here, question why we call our land here a farm when we don't actually technically, by modern standards, farm it. It was a commercial farm years and years ago. It was a multi-generational farm that in modern agriculture, it's not good for the topsoil, and it eventually gets essentially farmed to death. And I have a blog post on this. I always have the link to that website down in the description box if you guys want to check it out and get like the whole story on the history of our farm. It's interesting, at least to us. But this ground here, where we are today on our farm, was farmed essentially to death. And it is farmed until basically all the topsoil erodes off. And then it got put into what's called a conservation reservation program with the USDA. And they planted thousands and thousands of trees out here a couple times because a lot of them didn't take the first time. And it stimulates soil growth. It stimulates all of the good things coming back. It creates habitat for wildlife, and they fertilize the ground, and eventually 30 years later you've topsoil again, and we have grass out here. You want to show a chicken? Okay, which chicken is this?
My chicken.
Is this Jules or Goldie or whatever you're calling her today?
Woo! Come on, Jules.
All right, go put her back or put her over there. Remember, hold over her wings so she can't do that. So that's where we found this land when it was in that CRP program. We bought it and had to sit on it and pretty much couldn't do anything with it except maintain it and mow. So we had to wait. Anything other than hunting pretty much wasn't allowed. And we waited and just kind of enjoyed the hunting and hiking and just seeing what was out here and learning the land. I was doing things like watching where the water flowed when we had heavy rains and in the spring when all the snow was melting, to get an idea where I wanted to plant and where we wanted to put our house. So it's a farm, and it is a legal farm. It's technically 2 legal farms because there's 2 5-acre parcels here. And we are going to be farming it for our family and hopefully be able to provide kind of a side income with the things that we do here. So here on our farm, we have our chickens, we have a laying flock, and we have roosters that were going to be meat birds, but that's turned into now we're showing them in 4-H next year since 4-H got canceled this year. And then we'll decide what to do with them. One of them we'll keep to breed with new hens that we'll get in the spring, but the rest of them will probably become freezer birds. And then we have our main rooster, who is a giant pain in the butt, but the ladies like him, and he does a good job protecting them. We have them surrounded by our Premier One solar electric fencing, and that has kept us from having any issues with any predators so far. This will be our first year having them out here. It's not our first year with chickens, but it is our first year having any chickens out here. They're alone here, so we have to bring water to them. And now that it's winter, we have to bring water to them daily, which we have a plan for that, and I'll show you in just a minute. And that's pretty much it here. Next year we have big plans to add a lot, and hopefully we'll be living out here, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. So if you follow me on Instagram, I did post a question on there a while back about what you guys wanted to hear that was going on, what kind of updates or what things you wanted me to share here on YouTube. And a local person mentioned that they want to hear moving updates. So here's our moving update. Our house is on the market. We found another property that is less land. It's actually just under an acre, but there is a whole bunch of acreage to the north of it, kind of sweeping around it. It doesn't touch farmland like this doesn't touch farmed farmland anyway. Nothing here around here is farmed that touches our ground. And we would be able to do pretty much anything we want over there. Now, that doesn't mean we would sell this place. It means that there's a house there, there's a well dug, there's septic already put in, there's electric there, and it's move-in ready. And we could start homesteading immediately out there. And it's a beautiful house. I mean, it checks all the boxes of all the things that we want when we were regularly looking at properties. But it's not this place. This place is home. And we'd all rather be here. It's just really expensive to build a house. And we've tossed around the different ideas and things that we could do to make it cheaper to move out here, because we could get a loan. We could go to the bank, we could get the loan, we could build the house. And we can't, I mean, it's not in our budget to go build this ridiculously large house. We don't need a ridiculously large house. We don't want a ridiculously large house. We want to have space, but not space. You know, I don't want so much room that my kids are in different corners of the house. We never see each other. I like having a smaller, closer knit area. We enjoy it. We have one TV in our house that gets used. We have another one never gets used. And everybody has to take turns, and everybody has to compromise, and everybody has to share their space, and everybody's close. And of course, there's, you know, fights and issues here and there, but they're all minor, and everybody still is close and enjoys each other. And I want to keep that. I want to have less inside and more outside. And that checks that huge and most important box right here. We could build here. We could have everything we want right here. But if we do that, we'll have a much bigger mortgage. And I don't want to be house broke. I mean, one of the biggest reasons for moving out here was to keep things cheaper and simpler. But it's been 5 years of owning this place, and I'm running out of patience. And honestly, it's not so much that I'm running out of patience. I mean, being real, I'm totally out of patience. I want to be here like yesterday. But I have a degenerative arthritis, and this is very hilly here. And there are things that I want to do that one day I may not be able to do anymore. I may be completely wheelchair bound. Let me rephrase. I won't be able to do it the way I want to. I've never been the kind of person that's going to give up just because of a circumstance. I'm not going to not homestead just because one day I may end up in a wheelchair. But there's a lot of things I want to do a certain way, using certain techniques, and setting up a homestead. And I feel like the older I get, the less time I have to accomplish those things. So I feel like this press to get it done yesterday. So enough with the serious talk. I'm going to show you guys what we've done. I think I've showed a little bit of this. I know I've showed it over on Instagram, but since it's been so long since I have really shared anything here, I'm just going to show everything. So I hope the glare's not awful. Let's go over here. Here's the shed. We finished this a couple months ago. It is, I can never remember the dimensions. 10 by 16, 10 by 12, 12 by 16, I don't even know. But we all built it together. Of course, my husband did the vast majority of it. But we all worked on this together, and it was a great project. The only thing we have left to do is put gutters on, and we had to move on to some other projects, so we just kind of left it for now. We really weren't in a big hurry to collect rainwater anyway, going into winter, because, you know, it's winter, it's going to freeze. We can't really hold it in there anyway. So this is the big exciting thing. This is our beginnings of our solar setup. We've been collecting bits and pieces for a solar setup for a while now. We've gotten things from friends and off of Facebook Marketplace, and we just built this portable frame so that we can roll it to wherever we're going to need it, and we're going to have portable solar power. I'm so excited about this. So in case you haven't figured out why that's so important, we live 10 miles away from here. Our house is 10 miles away from this place. So I am back and forth in the dead of winter, back and forth, chickens in the morning, back and forth, chickens at night, because the water freezes. So that's 40 miles a day of driving. just to water chickens. Heaters for them. Gonna put on thermal cubes on there so that it can regulate it and the water won't get hot, and we only use the electricity that we need for it. And we need to charge batteries for our battery operated tools. We can do that. And then electricity for the camper. We'll have that too. The other thing I've done that I don't think I've shown you guys, I may have shown you this. I started our perennial garden. So this space, last time you saw it, was all timbered. We cleared it out just with a chainsaw, and we put in the blueberries here. Those are all high bush blueberries. I'm gonna extend that and double the length of it here. And then we had 2 raspberry plants. If you've seen some of my other garden tour videos from the Backyard Homestead, we've got 2 raspberry. These are golden thornless raspberry plants that I got from Baker Creek a couple years ago. And they were like this big. And last year my husband mowed one of them down. So we started again this big. And by the end of this year, this is what we've got. I think now I have a total of, after I've separated them and transplanted them, 20 raspberry plants for out here. I'm in the process of putting up a little rabbit guard here because they like to nibble on them and I'd like to save them. So we've got 2 rows, 20 total raspberry bushes here, and we've got black raspberries all over our property. But these are just a different raspberry. They're bigger and I don't have to contend with thorns, and they taste amazing. So there's that. Whenever we end up building, because one day we will, if it's not next year, it'll happen. This is where the house is gonna go. And then we'll have a shop right here. We'll probably end up building the shop first and then build the house. And we'll see what ends up happening. But that'll be it right there. And then in the spring, we're gonna get a mulcher. Mark has a contact through work, and he's gonna come in with a mulcher and mulch all this down because I would like to save the topsoil. Years and years of having all of that erosion happening out here and it being built back up by, let's fix this, all the trees and the prairie grasses and things that the USDA planted. I don't want to clear anywhere that we're not going to be putting a foundation on because I want to keep that topsoil, especially since it's on a hill. And because the history of this place, it's got a history of erosion, and it could probably very easily happen again if we're not careful with what we do out here. So mulching it is. Plus, it gives us all that precious mulch for back to Eden gardening, which I love. It's my favorite. I know, I keep hearing people tell me that roosters are a pain in the butt and listening to them crow constantly is so annoying, but I love that sound. I can't imagine ever getting sick of it. I'm not here 24/7, but still, they definitely don't annoy me. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this update. We are back. I am gonna start bringing regular content again. It's just been a weird couple months. And though our lives haven't changed super drastically, they've been a little more isolating than normal, and that's been really hard for the kids. So I had to put all my energy into that, into keeping things normal and healthy and happy at home. And I'm not gonna get into all that, but things are starting to get a little more back to normal because it is winter and we do normally calm down and slow down and focus more on school stuff. So it's getting to more of a normal pace, and I think we'll be able to pick up the camera regularly again and start filming more content for you guys. So I hope everybody is having a great Advent season so far. I hope you are all staying healthy and happy, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Bye.